Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you some insight on how to use the decision matrix in engineering design. And this is something that, when you get onto a job in the real world, you might want to make your own decision matrix um, or some other method of deciding things as a group. So I went through and I just made two different designs based on stuff I'd seen students making. Here is just a quick little box. It's got some vent holes, I guess, on the side of it. It has some dimensions just thrown on there. Not a lot of detail, but it's like a box. Can't tell about the hinge, if that's like a living hinge or if it's just that I didn't draw a hinge on it. And the second design I made it a 4x4x3, and this is kind of curved at the front. I've done a detail about the hinge. I've done a detail about maybe where this thing has a latch that comes down. And I said there's a toggle in the middle that you can wrap the cord around. Might make your life easier. So I made two designs, kind of simple designs. Not everything is precisely dimensioned, and I don't like the size of this one, but instead of just sort of arguing about minutia with a group, let's say it was two different people who made these, and say, hey, okay, we got to figure out what we're going to do. So we go and we look at this design, the decision matrix, and there was a space up here to put in your different criteria, and I went and I looked at like what it actually said in the design brief that we had. So the first thing was you got to have it composed of two parts with a hinge. So two parts with a hinge. I'm writing my first design. It looks like it's one piece the way it's drawn, honestly. So I only gave that a 1. I figure two parts with a hinge, it's either it is or it isn't. There's a little key at the bottom. If it's a yes or no question, it's 1 or a 2. 1 for no, 2 for yes. So that guy I gave a 1. This one, since I had a hinge, I gave it 2 points. The next thing is this thing easy to use? And, I think, without the experience of shoving cords in, this one's pretty easy to use. This guy here, the second one, you have to wrap the cord around it. I don't know how that'd be easy to use. It might be a little bit more difficult, so I only give it 3 points. If there was something that can be on a sliding scale, from worst to best, 1 to 4, where 1 is the worst and 4 is the best. The next item on the actual criteria we had was that it's got to securely store and protect the earbuds. And it didn't move it all the way. And this guy without a latch, that first design, kind of wasn't very secure. This guy's got at least a latch. This toggle here, that might keep things from rattling around too much inside. It might hold the cords in a certain location. So I gave that one 4 points versus the first one. The next one was vents. It doesn't have vent holes to allow air to circulate without allowing the earbuds to go through. So my first design had vents, 2 points. My second design, I forgot the vents. Darn it. That's okay though. These are just rough ideas, right? I added my own stylish. There may be something else you want to add when you're doing your own, like, hey, maybe is it small enough to fit in a pocket comfortably? Maybe this one be too big, 4 inch by 4 inches by 3 inches. That'd be huge in a pocket. So you can always fill in. You can add more columns if you need to. You can do this on lined paper. You don't have to use this template. It's just something that they provide for us. So when you're done, you go and you add up all your points. Looks like the max points have been 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. The clear winner here, points-wise, is that second design. But, like, over here, ease of use, I rated this one higher, and definitely I had this one higher in the vent column. So if I were to make a decision with a partner, I'd say, you know what, overall, this design, the second one, is better, but we may have a discussion about, well, you might want to make it smaller, and you definitely need to have some vents added to it. So as we go towards our master design that we're going to be working from for our prototype, we need to keep those things in mind. Anyways, that's just how to use it. Like I said in the assignment for this, if there's someone that you can work with fairly easily, either by, setting up a Zoom yourselves, or I can arrange a meeting where I put y'all in breakout rooms, let me know, because it's really good to have sort of a second or third perspective even. And I want to try to facilitate that as best we can. I'm going to try to do a Zoom probably Thursday morning and Friday morning around 10, and then maybe one of these afternoons, maybe Thursday afternoon, I can get on and then I can have you guys ask questions and work on this. The next phase, once you guys do a master design, is to start putting it into Onshape and getting those details done up. And I've done a bunch of videos that I'll link about things like how do you design a hinge, how do you even consider starting. And the cool thing about hinges, while I've got y'all as a semi-captive audience, let me I'm zooming back out again. Sorry about that. I'm using my husband's setup. And there's logarithms back there. There we go. So if you noticed, if anybody looked really in depth at the design, there was two things need to happen to make a hinge successful. Well, several things, but two main things that people kind of overlook. One is when you look at the side of the back edge where you're going to want the hinges to be, you look at the overall shape of it. And one of the first things you're going to need to do is consider, like, how wide do you want the outer hinges to be? And about how wide, what's the diameter of your cylinder going to be when you do that? You're going to have to make some sort of a cutout in the bottom piece that you cut out. That's all gone. And then you'll have the hinge piece, you know, right here and right here. And then on your top part, what you're going to end up doing, if it's the same exact width originally, you're going to have to cut out basically corner pieces here and here. And then your hinge part will go right there, and then they'll match up nicely. Now you're going to want to cut this hole slightly wider than this tab here, and you're going to want likewise these holes on either side to be ever so slightly wider than the tabs down here. Now if we turn it from this view to the right so we can see it, at the back corner there's now going to be a cutout here on the bottom part, but we can draw on this flat face here, and we're going to draw a circle that's not centered right there, so don't put the center point on the corner, move it over ever so slightly. We're going to dimension it a tiny bit above and a tiny bit outside of. And then we're going to have that circle be the diameter you want it to be. And then you can use that and extrude it the full length to get to that face. Well, you can use a mirror feature so you don't have to do it twice. And then the next thing to do with that circle face is it's going to kind of look like, on the inside, it's going to kind of have this sort of shape going on. And then, you know, this is the rest of the piece. On this face, you need a line with a midpoint that is concentric to the circle, that has a distance of slightly less than diameter of this circle. And then you go get a midpoint arc, put the midpoint down, put the top point down, and then the second point, the third point down. And that'll make you this semicircle right here. And then you can use the revolve and spin that around and make a spherical bump out. Now on the top piece you're going to do the same thing, only you're going to remove it when you do the revolve. Call it a remove instead of an add, and that'll cut it out. I've got videos on this. I just figured while I'm talking through it I would show you the way we have to dimension for a hinge. You have to leave a gap, you have to make a little cutout on the top piece on the sides and the bottom piece in the middle. I guess you could do it the other way, you could have the top piece have the two pieces on it, but yeah, it's up to y'all. Try it out and see what happens. Anyways, that'll be it, guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. I've already talked more than I intended to, and if you have any questions, let me know. Y'all have a good one.